everybody. We're going to be talking about the zero exponent today. And to let you know what that is, let's talk about something we already know, which is that 10 raised to the second power is 100. Let's talk about 10 to the third power. That's 10 times 10 times 10. That's 1,000. Let's talk about 10 to the fourth power. That's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. That's 10,000. Okay, now what if we went backwards? What if we started with 10 to the fourth and went to 10 to the third? Did anybody notice that a zero comes off? So when we go minus a power of 10, we end up with one less zero. Okay, well, what if we keep going? Okay, 10 to the second only has two zeros. So we go from 1,000, take away a zero, we get 100. Let's keep going backward. 10 to the first, that would mean I'd take away from a zero from the 100, and I'd get 10. And then what if I went backward one more time? 10 to the 0th power, if I took away a 0 from 10, I would get 1. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do in this practice problem. This is item 5 from your practice. It says solve the expression. Okay, and to do this, I'm going to have to remember something that I learned a long time ago, which is GEMS, or the order of operations, which says to work in grouping symbols first. Do any exponents after that, then we can multiply or divide, then we'll add and subtract last. Okay, so I'm going to start with my grouping symbols. And in this problem, inside my grouping symbols, I have addition and an exponent. I'm going to do the exponent first. Anything to the 0th power is going to be 1. So now I have 2, parenthesis, 1 plus 7, close parenthesis, minus 4.9 to the 0th power. Okay, grouping symbol isn't quite done. I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 plus 7 and get 8. Okay? Whew, done with the G step. 4.9 to the 0th power. Now I have my exponent step. Okay, so the 4.9 to the 0th power is going to become a 1. Yay, whole numbers. Woohoo. Okay, now that I'm done with exponents, I'm going to multiply. I do have multiplication. The parentheses around the 8 mean multiplication. The 2 outside parentheses means 2 times whatever's inside. Multiplication's done, and I'll go ahead and subtract. 16 minus 1 should be 15. All right, so that's number 5. Okay, and actually evaluating that 0 exponent made everything a little easier, I think. So I'm starting to like this 0 exponent. Okay, I wanted to just show you this one because this one you might get wrong just because you're overthinking it. Okay, apply the 0 power rule to create an equivalent expression to 4/3 parenthesis -2 plus 1 to the 0th power. Okay, all they want you to do here is fill in this one box. So you just have to figure out what's in that box. So the -2 and the plus are still there. The 4/3 is still there. The box is around this, okay? And that equals 1. So all you're going to put in here is a 1. So don't miss that one. Okay. The last one I wanted to show you here, that's item 4 from the practice, okay? The last one I wanted to show you is from the quick check, okay? And I wanted to show you this one because I think it's a little hard to follow it. So there are two ways you could deal with this. You could just do the problem, okay, and then match the answer, okay? And that's a really good way to do it. -4 parenthesis 3 plus 12 to the 0th power plus 15 to the 0th power. Okay, work in parentheses first. Okay, plus 15 to the 0th power. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, the grouping symbols are done. Now I'm going to do the exponent. 15 to the 0th power is 1. Okay, and then I could multiply and then add, and I would get that answer. Okay. If I'm trying to do it just by looking at the multiple choice and seeing the differences here, one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to look kind of one step at a time to see what they did and maybe eliminate some choices. So if I look at these questions, this is the first step. It looks like 2 of the choices worked inside parentheses, and 2 of the choices simplified this 15 to the 0th power. Actually, 3 of those did that. Okay, so I'm I'm looking at these, and I'm gonna try to figure out, do I agree with the 15 in parentheses? And then I'm already really agreeing with the plus 1 that they've done here in these 3 steps. So I kind of don't like this one, okay, because 15 to the 0th power is not 15. And already you might be thinking, wow, this is actually a little harder than just doing the problem. And you'd be right. Okay, but let's keep going with this idea. So let's look inside the parentheses. Do we like 3 plus 1 or do we like 15? So 3 plus 12 to the 0th power. 12 to the 0th power would be 1. Okay, so I'm going to cross out this one too. Okay, because the 15 that they have in the parentheses there is not correct. Okay, look at the second step here. For my 2 remaining choices, they have done the same thing for the second step. Okay, so I can't eliminate anything else. Now, for the third step here, okay, look at this and look at this. And we got to think which one is correct. Okay, according to the order of operations, in the first step, we did both the grouping and the exponents. They did both of those in the first step, which is fine. They did it carefully. They did it right. Okay, the next step should be multiplication. So I'm liking this choice because if you look here, where did they get the 5? Well, they added the 4 plus 1. They added before they multiplied. All right, so either way, we got the same answer. But I think actually doing the problem without even looking at the multiple choice was the easier way here. All right, guys, that's all I had today. Enjoy.